What's going on, weebs? nathINSANE here, and I am here to rejoice with you. Trials of Osiris is saved. It seems that Trials has been fully baked now. After spending about 17 plus hours over the weekend doing helps live here on YouTube, streaming by 11 AM Eastern, Fridays and Saturdays, I can safely say that the Trials experience has completely taken a 180 from last season and previous seasons before that. Honestly, this is probably the best experience I've had with Trials since Destiny 1 by a long shot. Now, I will say it's not a perfect system, but it is quite amazing how vastly improved the experience has become just from a few major changes. Now, the introduction of Battle Eye, which some people were beaming on saying that it wasn't going to make a big difference, has absolutely made a huge difference to the health of the game. Now, on top of the new anti-cheat, we also got a big TOS enforcement of recovery services. So if you're doing recovs and you're promoting and selling recoveries, you will get banned and the person's account will more than likely get banned for hiring you. I even heard through the grapevine that a streamer got banned live on stream for promoting recovs or something like that. I don't know the full story and I'm not going to get too into it, but if that's the case and it was over recovs, then kudos to Bungie for enforcing it, because although there were a lot of people that did recoveries legit and played with their actual skill, there were also services that used cheats and used cheats on your account if you had hired them. They didn't really care. All they cared about was the credit card going through and them getting your money. And at the end of the day, their accounts aren't getting banned, it was yours. And I can tell you, running into a lot of these people that were doing these recovery services, often the last few seasons, they were 1000% cheating. A lot of players were definitely cheating. I wouldn't be surprised if some streamers were cheating. And although there might be some cheaters here and there, it is not every single game. I am not running into a ton of crazy recov stacked teams that are running on people with 1.0 KDs accounts and such. Pretty fair and balanced experience on my end for the most part. I will say there are things in the game that allow people to work around that, but I will touch on that later towards the end of the video. The reputation reworks, removing tokens completely, being able to trade in your cards for God Roll Adept weapons if you've unlocked them is amazing. If you had any of the loot unlocked, you can trade it in with an engram and get the loot again and re-roll it. That is a fantastic system. Now that kind of leads me into some of the issues I saw, and that goes towards more the solo player experience. I do feel like if you're duo queuing or solo queuing, you should probably get more incentive, because a lot of the times it is hard to win those games. And a lot of the times the players that are solo queuing or duo queuing may not be the best or most skilled players, and getting out of the first few games is pretty tough. So only getting like 5 reputation out of losing and not being able to get past 3 wins is a very hard sell for a lot of people, because that's not really worth your time, right? So I would suggest that we up the ante and give people that solo queue, duo queue, and don't go in with a full team more rewards at the beginning of the card. Give them bonuses for being in there by themselves and populating the playlist, and give them more things. In my opinion, Trials should be what it is. People are complaining that it's a handout now and that it's too easy. I don't know. This is such a dumb take if you ask me, honestly, because there's a lot of players that have just way different experiences. They don't run stacked like a lot of streamers and people do. You know, a lot of streamers run with guys that are really cracked in the game, and it makes them look better, of course, but at the same token, it's like, not every player is god tier, and not every player has learned or played Trials. I mean, a lot of people haven't even played PvP for a long time because of how toxic and horrible the system is, and how people just consistently degrade other people's experiences and their time. To me, that is not the way to expand and grow PvP. Right now, there are a ton of new Guardians out there that are experiencing PvP for the first time. There's no cheating, there's no recoveries. This is probably the most fair and balanced outside of the sandbox that we've had this game in such a long time. Quit degrading other people's experiences and what they feel is an accomplishment. That is not healthy for the game, that is not healthy for the community, and if you're doing that kind of stuff, it's just really for clickbait and impressions, and you kind of suck. Now, I do think that comp needs a complete rework, and that's something I can touch on in a future video, but adding in comp an actual competitive ladder system, a competitive leaderboard, stuff like that, I think would be huge for the game, and it would give a lot of hardcore players less It would give hardcore players a place to stay and probably keep them out of trials a little bit more, which is an okay thing, honestly. I don't think you need to have hardcore players in trials all the time, honestly, and I don't think a lot of hardcore players would want to be in trials all the time. Turning trials into a more loot-friendly system is the way to go, honestly. Now, trials should be the thing that I believe is a catalyst for players wanting to get better at the game, and then having a comp rework at the end of the tunnel would be the top tier. Trials would be kind of that middle ground, and then you have everything else below it, just giving players something to do in the meantime between activities. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Let me know in the comments section how you guys have found trials so far. I know a lot of players haven't had the best experience either, so I want to hear everybody's experience. I want to hear what you guys think. If you have any ideas to improve the system or what you think is flawed with it, let me know in the comments section, please, because I'm really interested to hear and see your thoughts. I do plan to do some trials tip videos and analyze my own plays and such, because I make a ton of mistakes, and so I'm trying to relearn the system. I'm trying to get better at trials myself. I'm always trying to improve, even at my ripe old age. Also, feel free to subscribe and thumbs up this video. And as always, so long and good night.
Left.
Do you want me to throw my mid?
Hey, nice. That's super.